Okay, he's back. He's back.
It's all right. That
Thank
thing
God.
worked. Yeah, it's all right.
I did the same thing, but I use VP. I get on VPN. I don't know how that helps. And at the same time, I clear out the background. That's something I found online.
Somehow it worked. And the face
Yeah,
is
it
there.
worked. So how are you, brother? How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. How about you?
Good, doing good. So, really wanted to say that I'm a big fan of your work, your videos. Honestly, uh, all
Really? Thank
your
you, Sandro.
heard from Amaya, and you are in the same we're in the same class, right?
Yeah, yes.
Same batch.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. So she told me about you as well. Hi, Hiruni. Hello. Hi, guys. Thank you for joining in. All right, Gudmin. So I have a question to ask you. So now, when I
Yeah.
asked you what you want to talk about, you especially wanted to talk about this topic, like why isn't the passion? Sorry, why isn't the passion? What am I saying? Why aren't the youth following their passion? So this is something very very strong, very needed to be talked about. Lots of people are talking about it, and it's
Yeah.
come to a certain extent that we are talking about it now. In the society,
Yes.
but more than talk honestly think that you are somebody who is living what you want to say today, right? Because I think you personally are who is following what you love. Is that the case? But then, how can you tell us what your journey is like? Where you have like when others chose, the stereotypical maths and science, those parts. What have you done? What did you do different? What is your journey? Just kind of brief us a little.
Yeah, kind of like my whole journey, right? Um,
Yeah.
yes. Talking about my journey, Sandro, I did I did like physical science for my A levels. So when I was doing it, I got to know that I was not good at it because there were some people doing really well in it. But I was more into
Uh-huh.
extracurricular activities in my school. I did comparing, I did creating new things and stuff. So I asked
Yeah.
myself and questioned myself, uh, they are really talented in that, and you are not talented in the physical science stream. You are talented in both. So I thought, why don't I follow that? And in simple terms, Sandro, I can can't climb a tree, right? Hello.
Yeah. Hello. Yeah, bro. Keep going. I can
Yeah.
hear you.
Uh, in simple terms, like a fish can't climb a tree, right? So, like I started. Firstly, it was like I wanted to do some motivational videos in YouTube, so I started my YouTube channel. Then I went on, but at some point,
Yeah.
I wanted to make some change. Like I'm like 19 years old, so I wanted to go and do something. So I started doing comedy skits and I started doing educational videos. So I wanted
Uh-huh.
to try on research on what I can do really well. So like
Uh-huh.
the most days like comedy skits are doing really well rather than
Yeah.
educational videos. So I'm not stopping doing educational videos. I love to do what I do. So I do comedy skits, educational videos, and motivational videos when I have time.
Okay. That's like really amazing, brother. But also, are you a Vidurian? You're from
Yeah,
Vidura.
I was a Vidurian. Yes, I was a Vidurian for like for like until grade 11. Then I went to Prince of
Wow.
Wales.
Right. Okay. Wow. That's amazing. So I was actually, I mean, lots of Vidurians know people from my school. I'm from AGS. You might
Yeah,
know.
I
You
know.
might have heard.
Yeah.
Okay. That's amazing. How old are you,
No,
brother? I'm
because
sorry. I really don't know. How old are you?
I'm now 20 years old. So, I
You're
think
20
it's
this
the
year.
same age. Yeah,
You're 2000 born.
same. Yeah,
That's the same. Yeah, same as
yeah,
me.
yeah. I
Wow,
know,
that's
same
nice.
age.
Okay. Okay. Then you must know all these Hesandi and the Vidura batch. I went to
Yeah, I
classes
know.
with them during O levels. Yeah. That's
I
amazing,
know.
brother. So honestly, it's very nice to hear that it's very close by because Vidura is kind of like a really friendly school with us. We went to classes with them and so many bonds. So that's amazing, brother. And
Yeah,
I think,
it's a big bond. I mean, yeah, it's a big bond because Vidurian have a lot of my videos and they share, like, comment. They are the, I think, the big back in it. And I
no,
believe
that's
Prince
amazing.
One, I mean, it was my, I think it was the turning point, a lot of turning point in my life. Because when I was in Vidura, Sandro, I didn't do much of extracurricular activities because I was like much more into rugby at the school. So when I joined Prince of Wales, I thought I would go in a different way. Then
Uh,
then I joined the media unit in the school. After about like 4 months, the school awarded me a prefectship. That is one of my wonderful moments in my life because
wow.
that is a big history for the school as well because no one
Yeah.
has ever achieved it. And it was going on really well. And what do I do? Like, you know what, the comedy skits and all about these things came from that because going
Uh-huh.
into the media unit and engaging in the stuff, news reading, and doing, like, we went to media days and competitions. And even
Uh-huh.
when I joined the media unit, after about 3 days I have to go to a media competition called Sambasha. You might
Hmm.
know Sambasha.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
is organized by
I had the
Nalanda
chance
College Media
to
Unit.
go, but I only went
Sorry.
to I never had the
Isaac.
chance to. I mean, we got the invites and all.
And I joined the media unit. Me a lot. Then I went to media competitions. So at that time, Sandro, we sorry.
No,
Yeah, it's okay. Now, when I was in the media unit, now I did news reading and everything. But at that point, even Sandro sports, I was like always getting updated about sports happening in the world and so on and so forth. But even I mentioned you that when I went to media competitions in play, I was all was in the top 10, but I didn't get a first place or a second place or a third place. But after there was one all good friend of mine called, he's the president of the media unit, Banu Kitmal. He asked me to do sports commentary for
uh,
for a media competition. So I went for it. Then it was so easy for me because I was getting updated every time with sports. Then I was the first place. I got the first place in it, and again in another week I had to go for another competition. I went on with it, and I was awarded the first place again. And it was a kind of a going behind one thing. Now we are in an age like 20. We are in the age like a 20 years old, right? So we can't tell that ourselves we are like motivational speakers. We are this and that. Now we have to experiment and see that what suits you the best,
very true.
right,
Very
Sandra?
true. Very true. I mean, I find that very relatable, Budmin, because I have been, to be honest with, I have been on Instagram since 2014, and I have been experimenting social media content and Facebook. I've been on Facebook for more than 10 years, to be honest. I mean, I know I'm only 20, but half of my life I've been on Facebook. So these social media trends and marketing and all of these
Yeah.
things, these are my side hustle passions, I would say. So I've always been for years and years. If you go down my Instagram feed, you see content from 2015, 2016. There's almost 5 years of content. So like practice and practice and practice and testing and testing and testing is when I realized, okay, content creation is my thing because I looked at things. Gary V, how Gary V has he's a master, I would say, the king of content creation. Do you know him? You must know him.
I didn't get it. I see the buffering sign going on. Can you mention it again?
No, Gary V. Gary V. Do you know Gary V? He's
Ah,
the
yeah, I know.
master
Yeah,
king
I
of
see.
content. You know him.
I listen to him a lot.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I've been following him since 2016, right? So
Yeah.
how I relate to the testing process of, following my passion was after I saw him in 2016. In 2017, I did something really crazy and I challenged him. So
Yeah,
while
I saw it.
challenging him
Amma
also,
shared it.
you saw that? All right.
Yeah.
It was I had actually won a Facebook, no, a FaceTime, right, from him. I didn't take the FaceTime. So instead, I took that time to message him because I didn't have FaceTime. So I learned a lot from him and I got the spike. And since then, I've been creating content. So that's almost 4 years now. So because
I mean,
and
he's
content,
highly different. He has a different kind of thing, right?
very true, totally different mindset.
Yeah.
He is like one of the kings, and my uh, ambition is to have tested and to make content like he does. But it's very impossible how he makes it. But I am
Yeah.
actually kind of trying to model his strategy as well. I mean, the recent posts that I've been putting and all. So social media and marketing, that's how I've been testing those. I mean, I totally relate to what you're saying, brother. So honestly, it's
Yeah.
amazing if people of our age, the youth, the generation Z, right,
Yeah.
taking up the thresholds and going forward with all of this. So I think that's very important right now to do. Hi guys, hi Shashika, hello Komoda, how are you?
Hi,
Hi
Chika.
Tarindu, hi Sanduni,
Tanushree is
hi
here.
guys. If you have any friends, say hi to them, brother. Let's engage them as well.
Yeah, they are my friends. Kavishka is one of my friends from Vidura. Sashika
Really,
is one of my friends from Vidura. A lot of Vidurians are
you
here,
know them?
right? Hirunakka
Yeah,
was
yeah,
also
yeah,
here.
yeah. See, I know them too. Yeah. So that's amazing, brother. So I wanted to ask you a very
Yeah,
interesting question, right? Now we as 20-year-olds, right now we have
yeah,
taken initiative, like you, people like you and me. We are
yeah.
kind of the rare few in our generation who took the
Yes,
opportunity and are taking things social, right? And are giving back to the community, education wise, maybe motivation wise, maybe inspiration wise. We are testing and we are pursuing our passions compared to
yeah,
most. But I mean, we have to
yeah.
totally understand that not everyone has the privilege to, go and pursue what they want because yeah. So my question was, brother, I wanted to ask you, especially you, what would you tell your 10-year-old
Yeah.
old self? Like 10 years,
What?
would you tell him, like, if you had to change something that happened in the past 10 years, maybe do you following
I
something
tell
that
my
you wanted to, maybe you could have done, maybe you could have done better. What would you tell him?
that you should have started this a little bit earlier. What I'm doing right now. I mean, to the 10-year-old, I mean, at that age, I was like only. I was like more into studying, just always studying and studying and studying. And I would say
So
to
you
try
were
new
a
things. Sorry,
state A, like, why were you like a 9A student?
I couldn't hear. I couldn't get it, Sandro. Can you reverse it
Were you
again?
like a 9A? Yeah, sorry about that. No, I asked whether you were like, a 9A student.
I was at yeah, 10 age one would be to go behind your dreams, most probably to do what you love, follow the passion and everything. I would tell him that, but what can I tell him the most? Just try to be different. Don't be like everyone. That will be the best thing that I would say. Just try to
Hmm.
be different. Don't be the same.
Very true, very true. I mean, it's honestly because how we see ourselves is, I mean, 10 years ago is not completely different to who we are right now,
Yeah,
right? I mean, you definitely agree. I mean, speaking from very personal experience, lots of immense hard work is why I am here, right? And I, to be
yeah,
honest, like I So I think like so there are so many people. What I always say is following my passions has led me to a certain point in life. But the thing is, there are so many people who are honestly way ahead of me and are younger than us. I mean, there are
Yeah,
so many that
Sandro.
I know,
Now,
right? So ahead.
even if you, yeah, even if we talk about
Yeah, yeah,
social media, at our age, like at about 14, 15, this is like some kind of a small thing, right? But now it has turned
very
out
true.
to be a big thing, and it. It's all right.
Hi, brother. Yeah, it was reconnecting. Yeah, sorry, brother. You were saying?
I was saying now, right now, in 2014 and 15, like that was the most like when we got into social media, and that at that point, social
Yeah,
media was like something small, but now it has turned out to be something really, really great. Now it can even change the governments in a country. It has turned out to be a big thing in a country. Now it is challenging to the TV, radio, and newspapers. And I believe in the next few years, most of the people will be into social media and will be trying to get into it, and
I mean,
like
even right now they are there, right? I mean, we
yeah, it's
see
like
education, we see what can we say? We see the market itself going digital, right? We
yeah, it's
see
all
school Sri Lanka, which never
yeah,
thought of even online schooling, is going digital now. Like all the
yeah, it's
trends are changing already now. I think this coronavirus accelerated that change. Don't you think, brother?
yeah, yeah, everything is now online, even to buy the foods, even to pay, even to payments. Now people are getting used to it. That is good. I mean, at a
Exactly,
point like it was only with our generation sometimes. Now it is going into more and more and more, and it is continuing. That is a good
exactly.
thing to our country as well. I mean, as a country, Sri Lanka is a little bit behind because of this technology, and if we compare with other countries, they are far away, far ahead of us. I mean,
Very true,
even
very
talking
true.
about the other countries like YouTubers, there are YouTube channels going to be like there are some YouTube channels. They are maintaining it as television channels. Now in Sri Lanka as well, I have seen some of them have started it, but it is still not influential a little bit. But I believe it will go into a next level as well.
Very true, very true. I mean, I'll tell you a small story, but I can totally relate to this because now there was this announcer. I don't want to tell his name. So now I kind of I know him from through a mutual friend. So he is
Yeah,
about 5, 6 years older than me, right? He's been doing announcing so long, right?
yeah,
So I've only been doing like 5, 6 years, but I think almost 10 years he must have been doing. So
yeah.
what he said was he had gone abroad and come back to Sri Lanka, and he was
Oh,
starting social media newly, because he was telling me, no, no, Masa, even I don't have gigs these days. I'm trying to get a hold of social media and get gigs, scale up. That's what he was saying. So imagine people older than us coming to
yeah,
technology now when we have been in technology, in bloody technology for almost half of our lives. No, most of our
yeah,
lives,
yeah. We
right?
most of
So
our
it's
lives we spent in social media. Yeah,
exactly we aren't late, right? We came early. And that's why we have the upper hand. Like we know how to make online transactions. We know how to create the
yeah,
content. We know how to, we know what the seconds are, the limits are in Instagram, Facebook,
yeah.
Snapchat, Instagram, like all of them. Right? So social media on that stretch, like we know that. I mean, especially you, because you've also been doing this for quite some time, right? Brother,
Yeah.
I want to ask you, with that, what is your YouTube mainly focused on? I see you making lots of
Uh,
comedy videos, like that.
Yeah, I mean, still I didn't base it into a certain content. So what I
Yeah.
mainly do is comedy skits, and I will do
Hmm.
motivational videos and sometimes a little bit of education. And yeah,
Oh,
again, I will try. I'm trying to do some collaborations in the future, so stay tuned with me.
oh yeah, yeah, definitely. Let's do something.
Yeah.
Because I actually started a really good vlog series, and if my audience is watching, so it was honestly going to be a really big debut. And But the thing is now with the coronavirus, I didn't want to upload these videos because these were so videos of me hustling and doing my thing and like speaking and giving advice
Yeah,
along with. So I released the first one that was also weeks after the coronavirus, the curfew
yeah.
incidents. In Sri Lanka is having this, I didn't want to publicize myself. But then it eventually I actually uploaded it and I started this small video series because even this YouTube thing, I had a grand plan for 2020 since November. So, and I mean, I didn't want to reveal this. I posted also. So, but now that's totally fine now. But the thing is, how are we going forward with this, right? And brother, another question: have you thought
Yep.
of combining the two, education and comedy, like Kapila Ratnayake?
Education.
Kapila does it. He
Uh,
puts
yeah, I know
jokes
him.
into sex education and
I
different kinds of things.
want to. It's a good idea. It's a good idea. I have to see upon it because it makes education and comedy into it, and it will go into a wider audience as well. I mean, it's a good idea.
Exactly.
I have tried that.
Exactly. I mean, that's how Kapila got famous, right? He started
Yeah.
breathing in oxygen and, like making it sound sexual, and that's how we got into it. It's amazing. It's
And
a
yeah,
genius form.
at the start he was like a joker to all of us. And
Exactly.
when we listen to his videos, like now we know what he's going to mention, and he's trying to be a kind of an influencer who is trying to give out good educational tips for all the society. I mean, we as a society must be open with some topics, and he's giving it out in the right way.
Very true. Very true. And I honestly thought, when I saw your comedy videos, you can honestly go to that extent. Killer,
Yeah.
because like education and when you said educational videos and how you do comedy, if you mix
Yeah.
those two, like that'll be an amazing. I mean, I see you have a really great audience and your videos and like also any new stuff coming up, anything new coming up. I saw the
uh,
Mata Hari Vedanai that I saw. That was nice. Nearby.
Hey,
Anything new coming up, brother?
that was a concept that was taken down from one of my friends. Now, she was
Uh-huh.
a girl. She has
Okay.
a sister, and she always talks with me about the things she do with her sister. And I thought, what would I do if a brother thing? And when
Yeah.
I bring on the concept, I ask from her about what I can do, about what are the things
Yeah.
that you and your sister do, and that's how I combine to relate it to the real stuff.
Wow, that's
And
nice.
ask about some new things, right? So I am getting into some kind of a new project. It's a kind of a new project that when I do stuff, I name it as project. So my new
Hmm.
project is going to be about I'm so Sri Lankan, and it's going to be a kind of an interview video, 1 minute video, small 1 minute video that will be going on Instagram soon after this coronavirus is over. So I'm still getting a hold of it. And now the main thing, Sandro, I'm trying to base everything now. Like I'm having a lot of social media platforms, not Instagram. It's not just Instagram or YouTube. I have a different audience in Instagram. YouTube it's different, and I have a specific audience in Facebook, and I started
Yeah.
in TikTok as well. I'm trying to get an organic reach in everything now. Sometimes I have seen YouTubers when they post videos in YouTube, they kind of publish like promote it in Instagram, Facebook. Now I'm not
Yeah.
trying that. I'm trying to establish an organic reach in everything without publishing it anything.
Well said.
And
Well said. Many people don't
and
think that.
yeah, many people don't think that because Sando, I have seen this is the social media is some kind of thing where you might have it today, but sometimes you might lose it tomorrow. So it is better to be in more social media platforms because if you lose one, then you have another one. If you
Very
like,
true. Very true.
some people don't get it.
Exactly. I mean, that's the biggest reason why all my videos on Instagram are less than 1 minute. The short videos that are there with advices, but my the vlogs have a very large form of content. 6 minutes, 7 minutes, a little large. And I'm trying TikTok as well. I actually want to do a certain session about TikTok too, because later on maybe because so many myths around this app. So many people are
Yeah,
telling, okay,
people actually, Sandro, people don't get what TikTok is. Now, the thing is, Sandro, in Sri Lanka, the people who are making some content have made TikTok a bad platform. But when we
exactly.
take on to international level, And when you talk about the people in other country, they are providing some good content that enabling them to earn a lot of money. I mean, it is not about money, it's about providing good content. So they are giving a
Exactly.
lot. So I believe in Sri Lanka we should try to get into that, get into TikTok and try something new in it, because it is based on 60 seconds or 15-second videos. So I'll share a true story. And
Yeah.
when I joined TikTok and when I said that I'm going to do TikTok, some of my friends said, like, I'm going to unfriend you after all these things. And I was like,
Yeah.
so like, I asked myself as why did they think like that? It is because that mentality, because some people only like, they make content very uselessly. They can really
Very
make
true.
good content, but they don't use social media in a really good way. That is the best thing. If I give an advice to you all, it is better to you can use social media in a very useful way, but it is how you use it. It is not about
Exactly.
thinking like others.
Exactly. Content, the social media platforms are about how you use it. Now,
Yeah,
Instagram, guys, Instagram could have been the next Tinder, right? But the people who used Instagram used it as a place where they would post, fancy things and put a nice short caption and post them.
yeah,
And eventually that became stories, right? And Instagram stories became a place where you record your daily life, right? It could
yeah,
have been the next Tinder, depending on the first 100 or first million people who use it, right?
yeah,
But what happened to TikTok was that the first million people who used them used it in Sri Lanka, used it to portray a different version of themselves, and that is why
yeah,
people are judging TikTok right now. You would
yeah,
definitely agree with me, right? I
yeah.
mean,
I
have you
would
seen
agree.
Gary? Have you seen Banu, right? Have you seen how
Yeah,
these
I know.
people content on TikTok? They are
Yeah,
mind blowing. They are amazing. They know where to invest, right? And I have
yeah.
honestly started making
Even
content
if
too.
we talk about his journey, he started
Yeah,
from being failed at A levels and going into a company. It is a brilliant job. I
exactly.
mean, it's such an inspiration to all of us.
Exactly, exactly. And people like you who honestly see the value of
Yeah,
such social media platforms, because it's very rare. Some people, make a YouTube video, put the same video on IGTV, right?
yeah,
No filters whatsoever. Put the same video on, I don't know, somewhere else, right? And that's how they do it. But being wise about how you follow that passion when it comes to, social media is also very important. So, okay, I think, brother, we should coming back to our topic, right? So we drifted
or
into our passion.
I have something to add, Sandro.
Sure,
Yeah,
sure.
when I started doing IGTV videos, now
Yeah,
IGTV was mainly based to compete with YouTube, and at a
yeah,
point,
yeah,
IGTV
yeah. I
was
remember.
really competitive, and
Yes,
now it has turned out to be a kind of something that YouTube is more greater. And when we compare with Facebook videos is having a good reach than instead IGTV. In
true.
IGTV, people have turned up to, I mean, mostly turned up to watching shorter videos now. IGTV is good, is better, but I think if you want to post good videos, post at least 1 minute or like 30 seconds, because people are used to watching to that. People are used to
Exactly.
watch small content. Now, even in YouTube, Sandro, what I have encountered is that people don't tend to watch big videos. Now they are turning out to watch shorter videos. I
Unless
think because
unless they have brand loyalty, right? I mean, say
yeah,
we both love Gary, right? If there's a 1 hour
yeah,
session of Gary V saying, that this is you how you can do this skill, we'll definitely watch, right?
yeah.
Some exceptions. You'd agree.
Some, yeah, that's a, I would agree about that. But in Sri Lanka, it's a more about comedy, it's people
Yeah, yeah,
watch into it, because people in Sri Lanka is more into education, not education, sorry, comedy. If
yeah.
as you mentioned, if you can make like Jay Shetty, he's contenting about edutainment, not educational, means edutainment. If you listen to his videos,
Edutainment. Yeah,
you might know
I've seen.
edutainment. So that is why I believe these social media platforms are good, and I believe more people will join, and I want more people to come and do stuff. I might not be so popular. I don't want to be a popular one, but I want to make good content. Now,
True.
most people ask me a question, so why don't you be like him? Why don't you be like that? I always say, I want to be myself. It might get some time. It may take some time. So I try to do what I can do and I move on.
Exactly. I mean, that's true. The whole thing about following your passion, brother, is about being yourself. I mean, honestly,
Yeah,
I got the same thing too. 2017, when I started making more
yeah,
content, people were like, "Ah, wow, Gary Vee wenna hadana neda kiyala." Maki wenna no. I am trying to be myself on my own
yeah,
standards. I'm just following certain concepts from other people, trying and testing. There's no fault in
yeah.
trying and testing, right? I mean, following your passion is step number one. Ek thamai, you have to follow and you have to test and you have to fail and you have to test because I'm sure everyone watching right now can relate to this. Whatever you're doing so well right now, you must have tested and failed at least one time, right? Because I mean, that's how
That is why
anyone gets
Sandro,
there.
that is why Sandro I mentioned in the age of 20, we can't say where we are going, right? We have to test and see what we can do. I
Exactly.
mean, at the age of 20, we can't say we are going to be a businessman or we are going to be motivational speaker. We can't relate to us like that.
We can't.
People think like that, but you shouldn't be like that. You should test things. That is why my social media is mostly based on testing things. I tested and tested and tested and tested. So it is moving on. I mean, all the things I am doing, it is more into experimental things. I'm trying to do it.
That's amazing, honestly, brother. Because so many people our age don't understand that unless you try something. Now, so many people are
Yeah,
asking me, Masa, I don't think I can do announcing. But I was like, if you want to do it, you can honestly try it. You might be good at it, but how do you know you avocado is your favorite drink unless you
yeah,
drink it? That's always I tell them this always. How do you know anything is your favorite unless you drink it or do it?
yeah.
Right?
There's something, Sandro, that is what people have a fear that they would fail in it. Like
Exactly, exactly.
ඒගොල්ලෝ හිතනවානේ ෆේල් වුණාම ඒගොල්ලෝ කට්ටිය මම සිංහලෙන් කියන එක කට්ටිය හොඳට තේරෙනවා
Oh,
ෆේල් වුණාම කට්ටිය කියයි අයියෝ ආයෙ හරියට කරගත්තේ නෑනේ බලන්නකෝ කාගත්තනේ
hmm.
people don't like to hear those stuff, but in my case I always like to fail because fail is something that is, if we define it, fail is
Yeah.
that first attempt in learning.
Empty in
Where is
learning.
that?
I was wondering whether I have a t-shirt saying first attempt in learning. මම බැලුවේ ඒකද මම අරගෙන ඉන්නේ කියලා. නෑ, it's something else. This is Friday. I have a t-shirt saying that also. I have a t-shirt saying hustle, right? I have a
Yeah,
t-shirt saying hustle. I have a t-shirt saying first attempt in learning. Because honestly, people are really scared to fail. But people,
yeah,
if you're watching this, it's okay to fail. Honestly,
it's okay to fail.
me, we are people who have failed a dozen times. Although
Yeah,
I announce in big stages, BMICH and this and that and everywhere, I have made mistakes where crowds have gone bursting in laughter, right? Not even joking.
This is thing, Sandro. It is mostly based
Yeah,
about experience. When I have been an announcer as well, so when you get
exactly. Yeah,
failing, then you get an experience. Then you don't do that again. If you do it, then it's your mistake. But if you don't do
exactly.
it, that's what you are going. That is what success means.
Exactly. Well said, brother. Well said. Honestly, it's the experiences you get from the failure
Yeah,
that creates you, that makes you stronger. Very true.
yeah,
Well said, brother. Honestly. So with that, brother, I have a big question to you. So now in your perspective, right? Where do you think, like, why don't people like the big question, like the question on the, oh, hi, Kevin, thanks, brother. Thanks, man. And Shazna, yes, very true. I'm sorry I couldn't reply to that. Shazna, a knife can honestly, it's like social media. A knife can cut bread, and a knife can end a life as well. Very true. And thank you, Kevin, for joining in. You might know Kevin, by the way. He's a really famous rapper
yeah.
and celebrity.
I know him. I
You
have
know it?
listened to this because I have listened to him because of Kimbula, Adisha, because
Uh,
Adisha is one of my friends. I mean,
uh,
we have something same because he was in my rugby team. He was in the same rugby team. We were in the same school,
uh,
and it was me and uh, Kimbula was born in the same day. On the same day.
wow, really?
Yeah, that's how I know him.
But you have a story of Kimla. I'll tell you a story of Kevin. Kevin, oh, I don't know, make a hagan, right? Anivare, because I want to tell you how I met you, right? And that's related to our topic today. So, guys, if you know Kevin Sarat Chandra, he's a really up and coming artist, right? Very keen, I mean, one of the most genuine people I have met, right? So, he has a story about him related to how he followed, right? His passion. So, 4 years ago, about 4 years or 3 years ago, right? I think it's 4 years ago, 2017, there was a show called Empresario, right? So there was not a show, it was a competition, right? Organized by DS. So Kevin is from DS, for those of you who don't know. So Kevin was there. He is somebody, I noticed, very genuine, always, smiled and said, "Hi, how are you, brother?" Kila, I'm William Kata karna, like amazing, right? Honestly, I knew him through Interact, right? So even at Interact MUN, my first MUN conference, 2017, I saw him there as well. I still remember, an amazingly genuine person, right? Even after I saw him years later, he's still genuine. And the thing I noticed is he didn't let others bother him in pursuing his own path, pursuing his passion. He loved, first of all, I didn't know that he really liked rapping, but he honestly kept following it, kept doing it on and on and on and on. And while all these want to be rappers, right, were at home sitting and doing nothing, this guy was putting his step forward and making videos. Like nobody in our age range had the guts to do that, right? Had the guts to follow their passion. But this guy, Kevin, and by the way, guys, Kevin is coming on one of my lives next week, right? So Kevin, this guy, Kevin, right? He had the audacity to follow his passion when everyone said or everyone thought that he couldn't, right? And he had the honor of rapping alongside Ranveer with Anna, right? A few
Yeah,
weeks
I
or a
have
few
seen.
months. Yeah, exactly. Right. So honestly, somebody like that is, I would say, the best example of how you go all in on what you love, following your passion. Won't you agree, brother? So that is the story of Kevin. So guys, big shout out to Kevin. You're welcome, man. Honestly, man, you're welcome. No worries, Shazna. Poor coverage. That's okay. This will be available for you to see. Oh, sorry. Credit card is any. Yeah. So that's why, brother. And මට ඔයන් අහන්න ඕනේ බුද්ධින් this question, right? ඔයාගේ perspective again, your perspective, right? Why do you think people aren't very keen, our age? Why don't people? Do you think people aren't very keen to follow what they love? Like the main
Follow
reason,
what they
three
love
reasons. Yeah,
means
like this
Sandro.
passion.
This is one of my major things that I have seen.
Yeah,
People are very like they are really fear about whether their passion will be good to have more money. They are running behind money. I believe that they at this age they need money and money and money. And when I say like that I want to do this and that, they always ask, Budmin, will it make you financially stable? That is the big question they always ask. And I always say it is not about money. It is about building it until I come to a good position. And another thing now, our ages, like they are scared. I said it earlier as well. They
yeah.
are scared of it. They're scared. They have this kind of fear whether it will be right or wrong, and they have it a lot. And another thing is when it comes to doing your passion, if you want to get it to a good level, you have to work really, really hard, to work a lot. That means people are a little bit lazy. That is why people go to a 9 to 5 job, because
People are
after
scared to
doing,
work that hard, right?
yes, they're scared to work that hard. Then after doing that 9 to 5 job, but what will always happen is you can have to have some time to chill and everything, and you have a lot of free time, then you go to the job and do it. And another thing is they don't have a good motivation to do it, because when you are doing you are working under someone, and you have like a boss, you always get to have, you have to do this, do that, do this, and they are always saying it. But when you are working on your own and when you're going behind your passion, there's no one to say do this, do that, this is your next thing. It is always a game with you and yourself.
Very true, brother. You must know Peter the Almeida, right? So this
Yes.
he's hi Hiruni is here. Hiruni had the honor of privilege of interviewing him, and during the course of that interview, Peter the Almeida said the nice thing about leadership. So that is, in order to lead others, first you have to lead yourself, and that is something even Robin Sharma is something I read.
Yeah.
Robin Sharma's 5 Club. So Robin Sharma has also said, lead yourself. තමන්ට බැරි නම් තමන්ගේ හිතට කියන්නේ මම මේක අද කරන්න ඕනේ කියලා. I have to do this today first, right? You can't tell others to lead if you can't force yourself to do something first, right? මම අද අනිවාර්යෙන් උදේට නැගිටලා මම දත් මදින්න ඕනේ, මම මේලාර උදේට කන්න ඕනේ, කෑවෙන් පස්සේ මම මේක කරන්න ඕනේ කියලා. Like if you focus your thought, මොකද like another thing Buddhim, what you said is people are scared to work, right? And I mean that is sometimes, honestly, I would say with personal experience, sometimes I am lazy to work. and that is because I feel privileged to a certain comfort. Mata
It is
nikan
something
ඉන්න එක
that
මට
we as Sri Lankans have, Sandro. It's something that laziness
exactly
is it's in our genes. It's in our genes. So another thing
exactly
I couldn't mention. So when you are being lazy and stuff, now when you work, if you want to work hard to work on your dream or to work on your passion, you I mean I said that you should work hard. Then sometimes you don't have a good sleep. Sometimes you might skip meals. Then when you do what you love, it is not something kind of a thing that it bothers you, right? You work a lot. You I mean you do I mean I saw in a video that you mentioned, now you started working at about 9, then you ended at about 9 o'clock in the night, right?
yeah
You
yeah
mentioned in your recent videos, and it is like a
yeah
big thing to me, because when I record and when I do this kind of stuff and creative stuff, I didn't feel the time is going. I don't really feel the time is
exactly
going. That people don't
exactly
get it. Now coming back to the topic, now people are lazy, and people, I mean, they should really kind of
how do you think they should
have
come
that.
out of this laziness, brother?
Sorry.
How do you think people should come out of this laziness that they're going through right now?
uh, I mean, I said that it is you versus you. It is a game played between you and yourself.
Very true. Very true. I mean, it's all you versus you in the mind. Because if you, like you said, brother, if we don't find something that sets us on fire, like mama udera හැරෙන්න ඕන අනිවාර්යෙන් මම හැරෙනවා මම මේක අනිවාර්යෙන් කරනවා. Like if you have something to wake up to. Oh hi, my previous prefix kid has also joined in.
Yes.
Hi.
Yeah, I saw it.
So I mean, these guys would definitely know these Malis and Nangis, because when I was head prefect of my school, they honestly, I would say, because I got this feedback from them every morning at 6:30, 6:45 a.m. they would be in school there, because you have to, because I think that's what they said. I gave my best to give them a story, a reason to wake up every day and to come at that time, right? So I mean, you have to give yourself a reason to wake up first. The mama eka kare naththang, how can I give to the others, right? So you have to find a reason why you are passionate to come up first, right? To wake up literally and to do something, right? I deparak kita nato karanna. And something, brother, I want to add to what you said was, now everybody knows about, like, really, I want to do this, I love this, I'm going to do this, and you do it. Yes, fine, right? But something people don't notice about doing what you love is a very strong word called momentum, right? So when you start doing something, right, when you take the first step, the second step, the third step, the fourth step, they become easier because you have a momentum going, right? There's a spirit behind this psychologically, in your mind also. So there's a trick actually. If you take your phone, if you think you can't, if you're procrastinating, this is scientific, brother, right? Maybe you'll find this useful too, right? Procrastination is actually not you not being able to manage your time. It's actually you not managing your focus, right? උදේ නැගිට ගමන් ලියා ගන්න එපා 10 නම් 10 නම් 11 මේක කරනවා 11 නම් 12 මේක කරනවා ඒක ලියා ගත්තම වැඩක් නැහැ. It doesn't work. ලියා ගන්න, right? Four main things you will do today, right? And like write them without any time limits and make sure your focus is there. Understood? And that is how you beat procrastination. You manage your focus, not your time. And that along with the momentum. ඒකෙන් තමයි momentum කෙනෙක්. විනාඩි 25ක time එකක් කියලා, right? If you all can understand in Sinhala, right? You keep a 25-minute timer and do nothing but what you wanted to do. පොතක් කියවන්න නම් if you want, take that book and read. Right? 25 minutes, right? But that 25 minutes is only to get you started. ඒ විනාඩි 25 if you keep doing it, you will keep doing it on and on. Honestly, brother, you must, because you like you said, you get absorbed in what you do, right? අර editing කියන දේ කරන්න ගියාම ආසයි නේද? So that means you get absorbed.
ඒකට බහින්න ඕනේ සන්ඩ්‍රෝ. නැත්තම් අර අපි දෙන එක කවදාක වැඩ කරලා ඉවර කරනවා අනිවාර්යයෙන්. මොකද මේ මම try කරන්නේ නැහැ සන්ඩ්‍රෝ මේ ඒක distract වෙනවා. distract වුණොත් වෙන්නේ සන්ඩ්‍රෝ මේ පුළුවන් තරම් අර ඒක යන අපිට ඕනේ තරම් ඒක එන්නේ නැහැ, ස්ටෑන්ඩඩ් එකට එන්නේ නැහැ.
Very true, very true. I think, and honestly, brother, like it's very, very rarely that people understand this. Mahitana making their gattanang attarama me balangin hamotama, like, because like you and I are people who, we are extraordinary people, right? We are completely normal, right? Just what makes people extraordinary is that extra step that they take, right? I mean, I believe that I mean, you definitely do. I understand that from the way you speak and the things you do. Extra mile එකක් කියන්නේ. දැන් මම මෙහෙම හිටියට I have a like a 5 day like a full time job, right? And I am also a law student, right, on the weekends. And I am literally like so many obligations filled, but then people ask me, how do you have time to be on social media? And I'm like, I make time because I love it, right? So like,
I mean,
because we are
mostly
people who
Sandro,
go the extra mile.
Sandro, I have
Yeah,
seen people like wasting their own time. I mean, we have 24 hours per day. If we sleep 6, we have another like 18 hours to work on. It's like a big thing.
exactly.
Even
Like,
people like ask now, since people we are studying, people must ask whether you have time, how do you make time. Like they have a big question in it because uh, like I'm not a person who studies all the day. I use my free time to do these stuff. I mean, I use this free
yeah.
time to make it into a productive way without without wasting it. That's why I believe I came this further. So let's move on with the topic.
Very true, very true. I think we are coming into the final few minutes of our session. So before we end up wrap up things, I honestly want to tell thank you to the amazing crowd today who's been watching our live video and tuning in. To honestly, Budmin, honestly, I'd like you to give you the last feedback you have from the
Yeah.
deep ends of your heart, right? On why people should follow their passions and why we are not doing it and why we should do this. Why?
Uh,
Especially
number
people
number
of our
one
generation.
Number one thing Sandro has seen it. People who have studied a lot getting trapped at the end. Some people are really unhappy about what the job they are doing. So
Yeah,
to do what you love is that firstly it makes you a lot happy. The number one main reason I do is the main thing is that it makes you happy. I don't bother if I get likes or comments or shares or anything. I do it for my happiness. So when I do it, I post it. Even I get likes, so I don't get myself bothered about it. So I move on with the other one. So that is a good reason for me to follow on what I do, what I love to do the most. Then mainly. The thing is that I have seen people a lot. I mean, we have to change this, right? I have seen this a lot. We are in a kind of a generation where people like do the same thing over and over again. You like some people after their A levels they do to be engineers, doctors, and teachers and lawyers, right? So
yeah,
out of this, there are some people who are trying to be musicians, like kind of rappers, then uh, businessmen and entrepreneurs. So when we talk about that, like people mostly ask, people are only mainly focused into those four, into like engineers, doctors, teachers, and lawyers. People are not really focused on that. When we say that they are going to be musicians and other people, they will
yeah.
ask like, why do you want to be like that? And everything. So when I was when I was doing my A levels, I got this mindset that I should change this kind of a mentality. Then I should be an example to others to do what I love, and that's what I'm doing right now. That is the main thing I believe.
That's
That
amazing.
that is I believe that is the main thing that I'm doing what I love. And another thing, I do these kind of stuff because we come to this world to do something special, Sandro. And since I'm coming to this world to do something special, I'm think that every one of us should leave a mark on it. We even get do something to get remembered in the world. I believe most of us don't do it because people learn, they study, and they go to the
Yeah,
university, they do their jobs, they live their life, and they die.
make
And we don't even know what they
that's
did.
all.
And, and then I want to change this perspective. I want to do something special. That's why I'm doing all this stuff.
That's amazing, brother. Honestly, I think it's honestly amazing that I met you be able, even through this live video because you are
Yeah.
such an amazing person with so much of genuineness and amazing strength that goes forward. Because having the reason why you're doing this, the why is always the most important. I mean,
Yeah.
to me, it's quite the same as you. Like, yeah, leaving a mark in the world or making the world a better place before I leave. But for me, the thing is, I don't care if you remember my face or not. as long as you, if now my recent video, like I said, if you make a work family,
Yeah.
it's easy for you to like bond with them better, right? And
Because
that's how
they
you
understand.
manage work and family. Exactly, because they understand you stronger as much as you do your own family, right? So
Yeah.
that balance of that power of family is what can keep you going forward. So now even something like that, it's okay if you don't okay, some Tom Dick or Harry said this kene mat ehema tibbat mat kamak nahi mara. Right? I really don't mind. It's not about how far my name goes. It's about how far my concept goes. You definitely
Yeah.
agree because
Yeah.
how the things we say leave the world, change the people with us, Mama. Like honestly, that's what matters the most. Honestly, I would say, and you share that same conviction as well. So thank you so much, brother, for that amazing advice. So
Thank you, Sandro.
I think our time limit is almost over. So, right. Thank you, guys. Honestly, Budmin, this is such an amazing session with you.
Yeah,
Thank you so much for
one
joining
last
in.
thing, one
You
last
have
thing I
something to
should
say?
thank.
Yes. Go
Uh,
ahead.
we haven't met each other yet. We only met each
Yeah.
other in this live video. So we have
Yeah.
talked a little bit earlier, and I believe it has been a good session for me. And I mean, this is not my first live video. This is my second one. This is my first being interviewed by someone. I mean, it is my honor to
Ah,
be
okay.
interviewed by
Ah,
you,
wow.
Sandro.
That's,
He is from. You are an anchor for Charana Tv, right? So I'm so
yeah.
proud of it, and I'm so proud to, and I'm so. To be in it. So thank you, Sandro, for letting me do it because when I went through it, like I am the only person who is like much not recognized a little bit because when I talk about other people you went through your live sessions, I saw
Yeah.
like you're coming from Rupawahini, then I saw like we have the
Yeah.
CEO
Yeah.
of the icon marketing coming
Iconize.
on.
Yeah.
When I asked myself, then I was like a tiny person. So you let me myself to be in your live video. It's a great
No,
privilege.
think of yourself as a kind person. You are very genuine, and I made that knack of a decision. Like, no, this guy has something in him. I saw your content. That's why I wanted you there, brother. Honestly, and I think you're really, if definitely, and if you do feel like, also I feel like you have something to offer to our show as well. So if you really
Yeah,
want to join the Charana TV show, do message me or CV. I'll get you through. I'll try to put you up with the book as a
sure,
speaker
Sandro.
on TV. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Brother, honestly, thank you so much for your amazing words. I'm glad, I'm honored to be the first person to interview you, honestly.
Yeah.
And that's really a big thing. That's a great thing. So,
And,
honestly, I'm thankful.
and then another thing,
Thank
I have to thank every one of you to joining and asking questions. And I think every one of you got something from this. Can make a balපු හැමෝටම ස්තුතියි. ඇත්තටම කියන්න ඕනේ මේ ගොඩක් අය ගොඩක් live session එකට ආවා ගොඩක් අය join වුණා questions ඇහුවා. ඇත්තටම thank you හැමෝටම. So thank you මොකද thank you කියන්න නැත්නම් හරි නෑනේ. මොකද
ඔව්
ඉස්සර ගියා
ඇත්ත
ඉවත කියලා.
ඒක තමයි. ඔව් ගොඩක් ප්‍රශ්න තිබ්බ ගොඩක් comments තිබ්බ. Thank you so much guys for all of that. And yes, we are coming to our last few seconds. So thank you so much, Woodmin. Honestly, this has been a privilege. Thank you for your kind words, and thank you all for watching. And just like Woodmin, we have some amazing people coming up on the live session until next week, with the exception of Sunday. So thank you so much, guys, for watching. Woodmin, thank you so much for making the time, brother. And I hope to see you in person after the